Tonight, Prime Minister Alan Shasley announces a 2-week suspension of all social gatherings and other stricter protocols. 4 new cases of COVID-19 with 112 active cases. And Dr. Ernest Hiller's vehicle is detained and he vows legal action against customs. The details of these stories and much more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Friday, the 13th of November, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The government of St. Lucia has announced stricter measures as it seeks to curb the spread of COVID-19 on island. These tougher protocols come amidst a continued spike in cases in the face of measures which were instituted some 2 weeks ago. The list of more stringent measures comes into effect on the 16th of November and will run for a 2-week period. Nisha Charles begins our reporting.
Since the island began experiencing its second wave of COVID-19 cases, the government of St. Lucia has implemented stricter measures to help curb the spread of the virus. According to officials, over the last 2 weeks, there continues to be non-compliance by members of the public, particularly when it comes to social gatherings. The chief medical officer expressed deep concern with the trend that is being recorded on island. Dr. Belmar George notes that as of Friday, St. Lucia's classification had been upgraded to clusters of cases.
As we manage this second wave, our contact tracing team, they've noted the increases in transmission in our positive cases. What do they note? The level of risk from our positive cases, indicating the lack of compliance to the various protocols and policies that have been put in place to date. So that given we know the lack of compliance, it puts us at this stage in a very critical position where if we don't work to break the chain of transmission with immediate effect, it would lead to our forecasting and our projections over the next 14 days to almost tripling the numbers that we are noting to date.
The island's Prime Minister outlined the new protocols that would guide the country for the next 2 weeks. The emphasis of these protocols, he says, is to clamp down on social gatherings.
We attempted 2 weeks ago to put in protocols to reduce the amount of social activities that people were participating in. Sadly, that message does not seem to have sunk in, and we're continuing to see persons have parties at their homes, parties on beaches, and gathering around bars. And certainly the numbers that we would have liked to have seen at things like funerals and weddings, that those also have been abused. So we met today with an attempt to strengthen those protocols.
The new protocols include the continuation of work from home, a reduction of crowd events in totality, and a further reduction in operating hours for bars.
Business operating hours will remain at 9 o'clock at night, with the exception of bars, and all bars will be closed from 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Those bars/grocery stores in the communities can continue to offer liquor on a grab-and-go basis. But all places that only are bars will be asked to cease operations at 4 o'clock, and up until 4 o'clock, they're only allowed to practice grab-and-go. Persons are not to purchase liquor at these premises and consume them on the premises.
There shall be a complete suspension of any form of social gathering.
We're reducing church services back to 25 people. The funerals afterwards would be limited to 25 people. We're asking for the suspension of all weddings, ceremonies, asking for the suspension of all social activities, including sports. Anything that would cause persons to come together, we're asking that to be suspended. So even in terms of your own home, to stop from inviting your own family members for the next 2 weeks.
All sporting activities will be suspended, as well as the operation of gyms. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Milton Daisy, stressed that there will be full enforcement of the new protocols.
We are working two parts. The persons having to take personal responsibility, ensure that they do what the protocols say and don't do what you ought not to do. And number two, we will be out there. The police would be out there, and it is a gradual process. We are looking at increasing the number of persons that would be assisting us in doing that. So I think I would allow the PM to say it, but there's a particular number of individuals that we are looking forward to assist the police in policing these community bars.
Daisy said it is regrettable that so many people flouted the protocols, particularly at bars.
Persons were not fully complying. I must say that at this point we realized that the wearing of masks, there was a vast improvement in the city where persons were wearing their mask, I must admit. However, there were certain protocols not being followed, for example, at the various bars and places of public entertainment. We saw that the persons were supposed to have bought their drinks and leave the bar, but that was not happening.
So just to reiterate, bars are to close at 4 p.m. and the grab-and-go protocol remains in effect. Individuals must wear a mask in public and buses are limited to 10 passengers. Daisy noted that members of the public have been assisting police by alerting them to violations of COVID-19 protocols and even cases of illegal entry into the island. The Ministry of Health on Friday the 13th of November received confirmation of 4 new cases of COVID-19. This brings the total number of cases diagnosed in country to date to 160. Case number 157 is a 47-year-old male from Labrie. Case 158 is a 14-year-old female from Babuno. Case 159 is a 59-year-old male from Soufre, and case 160 is a 55-year-old female from Soufre. These individuals were assessed and tested for COVID-19 within the community respiratory health facilities. They were all placed in quarantine by health practitioners while awaiting their test results. Arrangements have been made for the placement of these individuals into care. This brings the total number of active cases currently in country to 112. Stay with us. Still to come, economist and Senator Adrian Auger says a national shutdown is not an option. Dr. Ernest Hilaire vows to take legal action against the state after his vehicle is detained. And Senators Mary Isaac and Gibeon Ferdinand go head-to-head after Isaac blames the SLP rally for the spike in COVID cases. That and more after the break.